Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our Yellow webinar. I'm Chantal Harper, the Senior Communications Manager here at Yellow. Thank you for joining us today. We're really excited to share with you some of our top tips when it comes to Google AdWords. The session today should take around 20 minutes, so if you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the Q&A box and we'll answer them at the end of the session. If you do need to leave during the webinar, don't worry, we're recording it and we'll send out the link so everyone can view it again or send it on to a colleague if you wish. So it's my pleasure now to hand you over to Sam Edge, our Digital Account Director and all-round Google expert.
Thanks, Chantal. Hi, everyone. Today I hope I'll be presenting some of my top tips for how Google AdWords can increase quality traffic to your website. We've invited you because we know you have a digital presence with either a Yellow online profile or a website or both, and we wanted to unveil some of the mysteries of how Google AdWords can help to grow your business. I'll cover what Google AdWords is, how it works, and what it can achieve for your business. We'll have a look at how it works with other digital advertising, along with the added magic of being able to measure the effectiveness of this advertising. Cool, so your business is already online, which is really great. Whether you already have a website or you're thinking about getting one, you'll need to make sure it performs at its best for you and your business. So are people finding your website while they're searching? Are you measuring how effective it is as a referral or a sales channel for you? When we talk about your website getting found, Google should be at the heart of your strategy, whether it's through organic or through paid traffic. Let's face it, I mean, Google is often the first port of call for customers when they're searching on the internet. And why is it so important to be on Google? 70% of Kiwis use Google when they're searching for products and services online. That works out to be about 100 million lookups each month. So the volume there is huge. When consumers search, they often land up on businesses' websites or they're directed to a Yellow online profile. While many people go to your website directly through a URL by typing it into the address bar, you'll actually find that the majority of your customers will still find you through Google. An important thing to remember about Google is that once Kiwis find you, they're looking to take action. So around half of Kiwis who search on Google contact a business, which is over 1 million people a month contacting businesses like yours. At Yellow, we talk a lot about Google for another reason. Yellow is a Google SME Premier Partner, which is we're only one of the few in New Zealand, which means we are your local Google experts. Now that you can see there's a huge volume of traffic that goes to Google each month, the importance of being found ahead of your competitors online becomes very, very clear. So how can you increase your share of the traffic? How can you drive more people to your website from Google? And we can do this in a couple of different ways. Search marketing is the best way to get leads that you can start straight away. You've probably heard people talk about Google AdWords or search marketing or paid online advertising. Essentially, all of these terms relate back to the same thing. You might also hear this referred to as paid online advertising. The most common form of search marketing is Google AdWords, but this also includes things like Google Display, Facebook Ads, YouTube, and Bing as well. The second way you can drive people to your website is through search engine optimization, or better known as SEO. And this is about developing a sustainable lead source. SEO is essentially the process of increasing the natural or organic ranking of your website on a search results page by making improvements to your website and content. This is often referred to as natural or organic traffic. We'll take a deeper look into SEO another time, but for the rest of today, it's more about just getting across what Google AdWords is. Do keep in mind, though, that SEO and AdWords do work best when they're utilized together. Right, so what is Google AdWords? AdWords is Google's online advertising platform, which allows someone searching for a particular service or product to connect with a business who offers that product or service. AdWords delivers potential customers to your website. In other words, it actually generates leads for your business. So how does AdWords do this? You pay to have your ads displayed on the search engine's results page, or what's commonly referred to as a SERP. And the picture we've got up there is basically what a typical SERP will look like. To understand how this all works, you need to break down the anatomy of what a search results page actually is. And it's important to understand that Google is basically two separate search engines. So at the top there, you'll see the top one is for the paid spots, which are the AdWords, and the other one is for organic spots, which is solely based on website relevance, which you usually see below. Today, we're just going to be focusing on the paid AdWords spots at the top of the SERP. So into sort of the nitty-gritty of what how AdWords actually works. Essentially, AdWords is an auction model that works in real time. So competitors bid against each other in order to show in competing positions on their search results page. How visitors get to your website from AdWords is actually pretty simple. When users have a requirement for a particular product, so say if they're looking for a hairdresser, they're likely to perform a Google search either on a desktop, a laptop, or a phone. It's at this stage that the Google ads will appear on the SERPs. So if you provide this type of service, you're essentially advertising to someone that already actually has a need for it and someone who's actually actively searching for it. Your Google AdWords appear beside relevant search results because ads are displayed on Google to users searching for products and services at the exact moment they're looking for them. People will click on the ad to find out more. The key here, though, is to drive an action. Your ad needs to be compelling, and it needs to contain the relevant keywords that people are searching for. Once people click on your ad, they're taken to a relevant page on your website, and they're suddenly connected to your business. Using Google AdWords to promote your business has many benefits. With Google AdWords, reach and relevant are really key. That means you only pay for the qualified prospects. So, for example, you're only paying for people who actually click on your ad and have taken an interest in what you're trying to promote. You're only advertising to people who are actually looking for that product or service because your ad is only appearing when people have entered that relevant search term on Google. What other forms of advertising work in this way? You're only advertising to people who are actively looking for what you're trying to sell. It doesn't really get much better than that. In AdWords, we talk about cost per click. It's also known as PPC or pay per click. The trick with this in AdWords is that you're wanting to pay less than the people below you in the auction, and you're looking to generate more clicks than the people above you. So there are no set prices. I mean, the cost you pay for each click is based on how relevant the search query is to your ad and to your website, and how many people actually clicking on the ad compared to people clicking on your competitors' ads. Managing Google AdWords campaigns is about getting what you paid for. So if you can get more traffic to your website for a limited budget at a lower position, then that's actually a good thing. The aim of the game is to drive down your cost per click and improve your conversion rate from turning clicks into sales. The best thing about digital marketing and being online is that everything is measurable. By using AdWords and a tool called Google Analytics, you can actually optimize your campaigns to generate more leads. For example, if you set up 100 keywords in your AdWords campaign and only 50 of them are converting into actual sales for you, you can focus your budget and your attention into those 50 keywords that are converting, and you can pause the stuff that isn't really working for you. This is the key to constant measurement and conversion tracking through Google Analytics. Sorry. Cool. Let's unveil a few secrets about how to create a successful AdWords campaign. There are many elements that go in to a Google AdWords campaign, so that we can focus on 3 of them today. They're going to be the importance of selecting the right keywords for your campaign, how we can write effective ad copy, and the secret of turning those visitors into customers. So the first one we'll look at is keywords. In Google AdWords, you hear a lot about keywords, so what exactly are they? In the world of Google, keywords are words or phrases that are related or relevant to the product or service your business offers. Basically, in essence, they're the words people will search to find your business on Google, and these are the AdWords that will decide whether or not your ad will show to someone when they're actually searching. When you start a campaign, you'll need to select your keywords, and it's very important to make these as relevant as possible to what you're trying to promote. A good way to think about this is to think about what your customers are most likely going to type in to try and find you on Google, and this is a good place to start. Then you'll need to start writing some relevant ads and align them with the keywords that you've chosen. If you're a business who is a dentist, then you need to say so in your ad copy. You need to write more than just one version of an ad. Google best practices tell us that testing different ad messaging will help you discover which ones actually perform the best. Getting your keywords right is one of the most important success factors to any AdWords campaign. Because with AdWords, you're paying per click, so you want to make sure you're spending money on the right keywords to attract the right audience. At Yellow, we have our own proprietary system which has over 10 years of historical data, and we can use this to help us tell which keywords are more successful in particular industries and regions. We're able to recommend a budget based on your business, your industry, and your region. There are a few essentials when choosing keywords, so you don't eat up all of your budget on unqualified leads. You're looking to start small and start really targeted, so a good rule of thumb is the way to go. So if you're a plumber, you don't want to be bid on terms like just the keyword plumbing, because it's quite a high traffic keyword and it's just going to eat up your budget really, really quickly. If you're a commercial plumber, you need to make that clear. If you're into drain unblocking, if that's your specialty, then that's where you should start. If you service a particular region, specifying relevant locations together with your category can help make sure you're getting the right kind of leads in the right kind of area. After all, if you serve Wellington Central, it's really, really unlikely that those in the Wairarapa will be wanting to call you. You're ideally looking for two things. You want to be super targeted and super relevant. Attention grabbing and urgent keywords are also really important as they attract the searcher's attention. Certain words do a really good job, things like free, guaranteed, act fast, and for a limited time. And it's also really important to remember to bid on your own brand name. Cool. So once you've conquered the challenge of getting people to click on your ad by targeting your keywords and putting your ads up there, you don't want to lose them by sending them to a page on your website that doesn't actually deliver what they're looking for. This is the importance of having the right landing page when it comes in. So making sure every click counts by sending visitors to the relevant information. For example, if you've got your Google AdWords campaign and you're promising stilettos on sale, you'll disappoint and lose a lot of people if you take them to a page full of full price shoes and boots of all different kinds of styles. So what is a landing page? It's basically a page on your website that you want your customers to land on once they click on your ad. It could be a home page, it could be a specific product or services page, it could even be a contact page. But there are a few rules of thumb here to make sure you're getting customers to that next step, and it's all about conversion. That's taking that action on your website by either calling you or emailing you. It could be walking into your shop, or it could be using your website's e-commerce facility to make a sale. The landing page should showcase what you're advertising in the Google AdWords ad. Otherwise, it's not relevant to what the searcher was looking for. A good landing page is one that addresses whatever the searcher had actually typed in. And if we think back to our keyword strategy, using really highly targeted relevant keywords, they need to direct them to a really highly relevant targeted landing page. The more relevant the landing page, the more higher your conversions are likely to be. You might even want to set up a specific landing page that can't be navigated to any other way, so you can easily test and learn what that traffic does when they get there. If we go back to our example of the Wellington dentist, we can see a few different business options when you make a search, and you'll see the map that lets you help find businesses as well. The trick to success with Google's auction model is to pay less than the people below you and try and generate more clicks than the person above you. There are no set prices. The cost you pay for each click is based on how relevant the search query is to your ad and to your website, and how many people are actually clicking on your ad compared to people clicking on your competitors' ads. That's the performance element, and we'll have a look at sort of how this works, sort of some basic terms. One of the most common questions we usually get asked by our AdWords customers is, where will my ad show and how much will I pay per click? AdWords is filled with a lot of performance metrics, but the most important metric for them all is something called quality score. Quality score is a key factor in the Google ad rank equation. The higher the ad rank you have, the higher the position on the results page you'll be. Despite what you might think, it's not all to do with how much you actually bid per click. Your position and ad rank are determined by two things, your bid and your quality score. AdWords calculates your ad rank using the bid amount and the components that make up the quality score. Quality score is made up of a few different little factors. These include how relevant your ad is to the keyword that was used and the experience people have on your landing page. We've talked a little bit already about the importance of a user experience when someone clicks on your ad and goes to a landing page. But if you have a slow page, or it's not optimized towards mobiles, or it's not relevant, then this actually has a negative effect on your quality score. So if your campaign is really set up really well, you can actually pay less than your competitors for a better position on the search results page, as quality score has a huge impact on position and cost efficiency. The business who bids the most doesn't necessarily win and get the highest ad position every time. Moving on to sort of tracking performance. So this is done through conversions. Conversions are the measurable objectives that you have on your website. Ideally, these are the actions that you would like your visitor to take when you deliver them through to your website once they've found what they're looking for. So for example, if you're a dentist, your conversion could be something like a phone call or an online inquiry or someone making an online booking on your website. If you're a website that sells products, a conversion could be an actual sale on the e-commerce part of your website. Without conversions, you can't really distinguish between what good quality traffic is and what bad quality traffic is. Because you pay each click in AdWords, you want to maximize your budget and spend it more effectively by encouraging more of the customer types that are actually generating new leads. You want to focus your budget more into that and not waste money on people who are less likely to buy something for you or get in contact with you. Cool, all right, time to bust some sort of AdWords myths. The majority of feedback we receive from our customers is how can they get their ads showing in position 1. The really important thing to remember is that managing AdWords campaigns is really all about return on investment. It's not about getting traffic to your website, it's generating valuable leads. So if you can get more leads from your limited budget at a lower position, then that's actually a really good thing and it's what you should be focusing on. If you're already one of the 8 ads on the first search results page, you're already way ahead of the game. What you want to aim for is to drive down that cost per click and increase your conversion rate from clicks into sales. The next biggest feedback we receive is when our customers can't see their ads on the results page. This is usually a result of a limited budget. So if your budget is limited, then Google will try and serve your ads out sporadically through the day, which means they won't actually serve on every search query, but it'll do its best to make sure you're serving as much as possible. I also wanted to touch briefly on the importance of measurement. So ultimately, the key to success for any kind of digital marketing and why digital marketing is so good is the continuous testing and measurement you're able to have. Making sure you're regularly checking your AdWords account to see how many people have clicked on your ads and what they've done when they've visited your website. These insights will show you which keywords and which advertising copy is actually working best for you. You'll be able to see how long people have stayed on your landing page, what they've done when they've got there, and what that level of engagement rate is to make sure that you're sending relevant traffic and your money's doing a good job. At Yellow, we do all the work for you in terms of measurement. Not only do we produce a monthly report that's delivered straight to your inbox, giving you insights into your AdWords campaign, our campaigns, we review them very regularly, and we can tell you what your market share of your ads actually is attracting. We may recommend a different price point or to change out your keywords and ad copy with different ones that we recommend might perform better. Especially with seasonal businesses, it's important to change your messaging quite frequently and even your budget depending on the season. For example, coming up to the Christmas period, we know things like taxis, boarding kennels, liquor outlets, and holiday parks are going to be getting a lot more traffic. So you'd need to structure your annual AdWords budget to factor this in. So to summarize, what are the ingredients for an effective AdWords campaign? You need to set out a clear plan for what you want to achieve. You need to start with the who, the what, the where, and the why. You need to do your research and work hard on refining your keywords. If these are accurately defined according to your specific business strategy, then you already have the best chance for success. Great ad copy will draw in your audience, and so spend the time making sure it's done properly. The ability to trial several versions helps provide more insight into your most valuable customers, and therefore the right place to spend your budget. A great experience once your customers land on your website is crucial to converting the traffic into leads. And lastly, make sure you're checking in on the progress of your campaign, making the necessary tweaks based on the results you see. This is where a skilled campaign manager can be extremely helpful to make sure your campaign gets the constant attention that it needs. Cool, so that wraps up our session for today. I hope I've given you a good overview of Google AdWords and I've sort of unveiled some of the mysteries along the way of how it works. We'll spend the next 10 minutes or so answering any questions, so feel free to type these into the Q&A box on your screen, or you can email us on the address bar that's at the top there. We've recorded this webinar and we'll send it out a link to everyone who has attended today. You're most welcome to send this link on to anyone who you think might enjoy this session. Cool. So got a few questions coming in already. The first one we've got is there an ideal time to run a Google AdWords campaign? I guess the best thing about Google AdWords is that you can sort of turn it on and turn it off depending on how much work you're actually needing. So you can basically, but you're bidding for position. So if you need leads at any particular time, you can set up an account, get your budget up and running, and you can put your ads in front of those people who are actively looking for you. So if you're a plumber who's got a couple of staff who are sitting around, aren't doing much, and you need a few more leads, you can turn your AdWords campaign on, get some traffic through to your website, start generating some calls, get your guys busy, and then once you got fully booked up, you can actually turn that off. So you're no longer wasting money on attracting people and leads you don't actually need anymore. And I mean, you know, as to a time, you can run that as often or as little as you need. That's sort of the beauty of having everything measured, everything tracked, is that you can actually turn it off and on, know how many leads you're going to get, and when best to spend your budget. Hope that answered your question there. I got another one come through. What's the difference between standard Google AdWords and AdWords Express? So AdWords Express is like it's a simpler version of how AdWords works. It's a great entry-level tool for people who want to set up their own campaign quite quickly, and it takes out a lot of the complicated settings that the normal Google AdWords feature has. It's a real quick way to log in, load up a budget, pick some keywords, write some ads, and you can start serving straight away. The disadvantage is that you don't get that sort of next level of like technical sort of settings and things that you can customize towards. The full version of AdWords gives you things like bid modifiers for regions, ad scheduling, a whole range of features that you can sort of take that AdWords sort of, you know, performance up to the next level. But AdWords Express is a nice, easy way to start off, though. Cool. Another question. You mentioned using keywords like free and on sale. What are your recommendations on keywords for industries that don't do sales or discounting, and it's more for branding? Which is a really great question, something we get quite a lot of. The keywords that you choose and you serve ads for are really based on what services and what businesses you provide. You really need to step into the customer's shoes and think, you know, what are my customers going to be typing and searching for when they're looking for a product or a service. So you might not have like sales and promotions, but if you're something like a plumber and you know you're trying to attract those customers, what are people most likely going to do if they need a plumber? They're probably going to write in something like, I need a plumber near me, or I need a plumber Mount Wellington, or cheap toilet repair, or something like that. Those are the kind of keywords that people are going to search for and put in, and that's kind of where you want to start off your AdWords campaign. You want to start there, thinking what your customers are going to be searching for, and putting your ads up there. And in terms of branding and things, you're only really paying when someone actually clicks on your ad. So AdWords as a branding tool is really great because having your ad appear in a SERP and someone not clicking on it doesn't actually charge you. It does sort of affect your quality score because it's obviously not as relevant, but you are getting that branding element, and getting people to click on your website obviously means they're seeing your brand, they're seeing what services you have. So as a branding tool, it is really good. I hope that's answered your question there. Another one, can you choose, say, a Monday every month to spend your budget on? Yep, so AdWords gives you a feature called ad scheduling. So you can go on and you can prioritize what days of the week you'd want your ads to serve. You can break that down to hours. And then you do some cool things as well, like you can bid more aggressively, you know, in the mornings from 9 till 12 if you think it's more competitive, and save some of your budget and bid less aggressively later in the day. You can spend all of your budget on a Monday, try and stock up on leads for the week and not serve anything else the rest of the week. You've got some real good customized features in there as well. Another question, can you give an indication of cost? That's always one of the hardest ones, I think, with AdWords, because you're really relying on, you know, how much search volume is out there for people looking for your products and services. Google has a feature called the keyword planning tool, which is something that we use alongside our own sort of internal software of predicting how much search volume there is and what that means in terms of cost. The keyword planning tool is actually a tool that's free, Google, that lets anyone with an AdWords account go and use, so you can get a bit of an insight at how much cost is. But my biggest advice for most people, though, when they're talking about cost is generally to start smaller, because digital is always about measurement and getting return on investment. You're always better off starting with a smaller budget, testing to see what works first, seeing if you're actually getting leads and if the keywords you've picked are right, understanding that, learning from that, and then you can start to invest a bit more when you know it's actually working for you. But like anything, you want to make sure, start small, prove that it works, and then look to reinvest more in the future. Cool, got another good question here. Bidding on brand names was recommended. What about bidding on competitor brand names, and what are your thoughts on this? Is there any way to stop others from bidding on your brand name? This is a bit of a touchy subject, which sort of always sort of comes up when we're talking about AdWords. So the way it works is that there's nothing stopping anyone from bidding on keywords, no matter whether they're someone's brand or name or anything. So whatever keywords you want to choose are completely up to you. However, where sort of the trademark and things come into it is that you can't use someone else's brand name in your own ads. So if you've got a rival plumber or something like that, you can set up keywords to serve ads when someone searches for that business name, but you cannot use that business name in your ad copy, because that's technically breaking the law. You're pretending to be someone you're not. So we always recommend bidding on your own brand name, because if someone's looking for your brand, you want to make sure that your website pops up as much as possible. You don't want other advertisers coming in and bidding on your brand name. And sort of back to that quality score relevancy thing, if you're bidding on your brand name and you're sending traffic to your website, you have the most relevant ad for your brand name. So you're always going to be paying the least to serve up the highest spot. Someone who's like your rival competitor will try and bid on that, but they're going to pay a premium to be on there. So that's sort of why, if you're bidding on if you're going after your competitors, you need to be prepared to pay a bit extra. But in saying that though, your ads will always be serving on your competitors. So my advice is always to bid on your own brand name. If you've got the budget that allows, you can definitely go after your competitors, as long as you're not using their brand name in your ads. And is there a way to stop other people from bidding on your brand name? Sadly not, but they cannot use your brand name in their ad copy. That's something you could bring up with Google and flag with them, and they'll escalate that. Just while we're talking about someone's come through with, can you explain what it means by bidding on your own brand? Basically, so if I have a business called Sam's Plumbing, and someone types in the Google search for, they're looking for Sam's Plumbing, putting my keyword in my AdWords account for that to serve my ad on Sam's Plumbing is basically what that means by bidding on your brand name. So if I've got a guy down the road called Jeff's Plumbing, and he tries to bid on my keyword, then he can, someone searching for my business, they'll actually see my competitor's ads. So it's always a good rule of thumb to protect your own business and look after your own brand names first. And that's sort of why we recommend on doing that. So the worst thing you want to do is, do your own hard work advertising your own brand and someone else coming in to steal all that traffic from you. Is there any more questions before we wrap everything up? No worries.
Okay, that looks like all the questions for now. Thanks, Sam. Some really good insights there for us. And I hope everybody enjoyed coming along. If you've got any further questions or suggestions for other webinar topics that you'd like us to cover, please get in touch with that email that's there on screen. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye.